by popular demand is Dr. Joel Wallach. He's published numerous books on dietary deficiencies, conducts approximately 300 lectures annually. He had $25 million of government funding as a top zoologist. He's got multiple medical degrees, but his first one is as a veterinary medicine. And he discovered that a lot of different diseases were mineral-based or vitamin-based. Well, just like scurvy's vitamin C missing. A lot of adults have scurvy now, and the doctors won't even tell you. So we're going to be breaking that down with him and that attack. And we've got somebody who I'm a big fan of. Theo Ratliff is an American former professional basketball player who last played with the NBA's Los Angeles Lakers. Primarily a center, he was an excellent shot blocker who has led the league 3 times in blocks per game. Wow, league leader. As of 2011, he is ranked 18th all-time in career blocks and 13th all-time in career blocks per game. Ratliff played basketball at Dolphins High School and later graduated at the University of Wyoming. He is also the owner of Rome Gladiators, and he is on with us. He is the maker, well, I mean, he's endorsing a proprietary blend for him of Rebound that I take. And for people watching on prisonplanet.tv, here, you can, I'm actually on some Rebound right now, an amazing energy, stamina sports drink that is just off the charts. And so there it is right over there on the document cam shot. We can show people the Rebound FX. They've got it in different flavors right there. They've got, Berry Boost and Citrus Punch. I personally like the Berry Boost the most, just like I like Pollen Plus that's berry. I just like berry better than citrus, but to each their own. And it's all available, I should add, as well at InfoWarsHealth.com. So we're also engaged in good old-fashioned capitalism here because I searched out the best vitamin and minerals for myself. Aaron lost 92 pounds on it, as you know, and I found Youngevity. And the testimonials just pour in, so they're both here to talk about that. We're going to Theo here in a moment, but let's bring up Dr. Wallach, Joel Wallach. Tell us about Theo Ratliff, and then we'll get his testimony here and talk about the amazing product Rebound that he, basically envisioned out of the other Youngevity products because of the response he got.
Well, thank you, Alex. It's always good to be with you, first of all. And then Theo is a great American. He's a great role model for young people who want to be healthy and yet play sports. And Theo's career was over, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it is. He had only 28 years old. He was playing for the Atlanta Hawks, had bone-to-bone arthritis in both knees. Cartilage popped off his right hip, had to have it surgically stapled back down. Caught a pass during a game and actually fractured his wrist. And the orthopedic surgeons at the Atlanta Hawks refused to sign off on him and said, hey, this guy's too fragile to play professional ball. And a mutual friend introduced us, a guy by the name of Mike Glenn, who's an ESPN moderator, played for the Atlanta Hawks for 10 years himself, used to be called the Stinger, introduced Theo to the Youngevity program. We got Theo going on the, essentially what is today the Healthy Start Pack for his body weight. He's a big fella, and he's on the Healthy Start Pack plus our glucogel to rebuild his cartilage. And within 90 days, we had him rebuilt. He was able to go back and get his position back. And he's been playing ever since, essentially free of any breakdown because he's been taking not only the 90 essential nutrients regularly just to maintain himself, but also the Rebound, which we designed for him. It has 100 nutrients in it to replace everything you're sweating out. Gatorade only has 2, water has none. And when you sweat, Alex, you're not sweating out water, you're sweating out a soup of all the nutrients you have floating around your blood. You have a perfect diet, you're getting 90 essential nutrients, so you're sweating out 90 nutrients. Most people don't. They have anywhere from 60 to 70 nutrients floating around their blood, and they sweat them out. And then you drink Gatorade, you're only getting 2 replace it. And that's why people break down in their joints, they break down in their muscles, they have heart attacks, they get diabetes, and they die 25 years early.
Amazing. Let's bring him up on the air, Theo Ratliff, to break this down. Theo, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, great to be here, man. And thank you for having me on. I don't know if you're Mr. Jones or Alex or what you prefer to be called.
Sir, please call me. Please call me Alex. I'll call you Theo.
Yes, it's a great opportunity to be on your show. And always my man, Dr. Wallach, always putting out that knowledge and letting people know what the real deal is as far as with these minerals and their health.
Describe what happened to you. I mean, he just encapsulated it, but take your time. I mean, because I was reading in sports medicine until recently, they never even really discussed that you need a full spectrum of vitamins and minerals. And then, of course, you guys sweat more than anybody in probably any other sport, I mean, because it's so aerobic. Break down your story.
Well, I mean, I've been a guy that always took care of his body, you know, when I was younger, got proper rest, ate proper foods, did all the right things. And probably it was my second year in the league, going into my third year. I banged knees with somebody, ended up having to go through a microfracture surgery. I had to play the year throughout with a microfracture surgery. And, you know, when you get the microfracture, you know, you get a lot of swelling, a constant swelling, even after you're done, even after you have the surgery. So I was going through constant swelling, was able to play through it. Lo and behold, ended up going to Philadelphia, playing with Philadelphia, starting, really making a name for myself, leading the leagues in blocks, and just playing well. You know, body was still kind of breaking down at the same time, but I was able to fight through it. But lo and behold, about my fifth year in the league in 2001, I ended up being, you know, one of the top defensive guys in the league at the time. I think we had the best record in the league at the time before the All-Star break, and probably 2-3 games before the All-Star game, I went up to block the shot on, I think it was Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, and I came down on my wrist, trying to just catch myself. A routine ended up fracturing my wrist. So wasn't able to play. You know, one of the top centers in the league at the time. So during that time, we had what we call a trade deadline. So because I wasn't able to play and wasn't able to perform at that time, I ended up getting traded for Dikembe Mutombo from Atlanta to Philly, and I ended up going to Atlanta. So then play the rest of the year, just rehab, heal my hand back. And then during the summertime, after I was healthy and everything, I just went up. This couldn't have been no more than 2 or 3 days when I started playing again. I just went up and jumped for a routine ball, and I ended up tearing the labrum in my hip. So I had to set out again. So went through that surgery, tried to get the body back together, but it just wasn't working out. I thought after 6 years, it looked like I was heading for retirement. So lo and behold, I heard Mike Glenn, who's our commentator, which Dr. Wallach said, was speaking to another gentleman on the team about minerals and mineral deficiencies and calcium and different things of that nature, and talking about the different diseases. And I was like, man, that wasn't been going on with me. So I pulled him over to the side, and I told him, look, man, you got to break these minerals down to me. Break this thing down, because I know I've done everything possible to try to stay in this league and build my body up and do all the right things. But my body's just breaking down on me. It's like my bones are getting brittle. So he sat me down along with a guy named Phil Oliver, and they explained to me about the calcium deficiency, the different diseases you can get from calcium. But one of the biggest things that they told me about was athletes don't live long. I mean, when athletes finish playing, they have an average lifespan of probably 55.
Look at Wilt Chamberlain. Look at all these guys.
Right, and you see it just from how guys pass away, you know, constantly and throughout the retired ranks. So they kind of explained to me about you're losing your minerals. You know, you've been doing it all your life. You don't know it. All you do is taste the salt and the minerals, because that's what you're familiar with. But at the same time, you're losing 90 different minerals that are coming out your body as you sweat. And I was amazed, you know, when they was telling me this. I'm like, man, could this be what the situation is? And then Dr. Wallach explained to me about growing cartilage back, and I'm telling him about my knees swelling up every time I run, and the hip and all this stuff. And, you know, it was to the point where, you know, I was always a great listener, but when they started saying the things that they were saying, me being from Alabama and thinking about a lot of the old remedies that grandma used to use, it made sense to me.
Well, yeah, Grandma used to grind up bone to put it in the bread, and Grandma used to, tell people they needed to eat clay and things. And, I mean, you see the deer out doing it. I mean, I was watching a show last night, showed elephants sticking their trunks way down into the mud to get minerals. I mean, animals know this. Why have we forgotten this?
Right. So when he told me about the gelatin and being able to recreate cartilage and build your body back with the minerals and different things of that nature, I got on it diligently. I did not stop taking it. I still, to this day, I wake up and I take my minerals every single day, like clockwork. And once they explained to me, it's like food. It's not a matter of what you consume as far as the amount, but it's because it's like food. It's natural and it's a plant-derived mineral, so it absorbs in your body, 100%. And when you hear something like that, you kind of throw up a red flag. But as you do your research and you learn about plants and how they work and how they function in your body, you tend to understand. So I got on the program diligently and was just all out with the program and was able to build my body back and went on to lead the league in blocks that year, was up for Defensive Player of the Year at the same time for the next 2 years, and, went on to Portland, transferred to Pollen, and was able to sign a big contract. And during that time, because I was so diligent on the program, they created this rebound FX to keep me sustained throughout the game as far as with the energy, that I need when guys are dying in that fourth quarter and they see my motor is still up at 100%, it gave me an advantage. So, this product has been great for me.
So it's specially formulated off what they thought you would need for long-distance stamina. Now, break down, because I've seen you on the news talk about this. What started happening is everything was starting to degenerate, breaking under this whole life of stress and intense sports as you were depleting your minerals and vitamins and things were starting to break down. I mean, how fast did you see a response when you started taking basically the Healthy Start Pack and the glyco gel and other things? I mean, what was the response you saw, Theo?
For one, it's like a shock to the system because you're getting something that your body been craving your whole life. So once you start taking it, you get energized, you get rejuvenated. It's like a whole light bulb goes off.
Well, that's my problem is I've gotten more aggressive, actually. I've got to be honest. The side effect of taking all these vitamins and minerals is I feel aggressive like when I was 20.
Right. You feel young, energetic. Muscles get strong, everything. So it's, that said, when I first started taking it, within a month, I felt my body being different. It takes a lot longer because I had the injuries already, pre-existing stuff. So as I continued to take and was able to do a little bit more and started not to seeing that swelling in the knees and in the joints and not having the ice down and doing all this different stuff, then it was like, okay, I'm getting back to myself. I'm getting back to that 20-year-old, Theo Riley, where I can jump and do all the things that I need to do out on the floor comfortably, So
nothing less than miraculous. And show me you do. I mean, in your own words, you basically owe it to Youngevity, you've said, and discovering this. You got how many more years in the league? 11?
Oh, man, it was at least 10. At
wow.
Least. So like I try to tell guys all the time and try to introduce them to the product that, you need to learn what you're depleting out of your body. Everybody wants to go to the drugs and doing the surgery and different stuff like that, but if you're not attacking what's causing the problems, then, you're defeating the purpose.
Exactly. Breast cancer is exploding. It's always find the cure. How about we find out why it's exploding? Same thing with sports. Why do so many marathon runners end up having heart attacks later? Well, it turns out they've depleted all their minerals. As Doc Wallach was saying, Gatorade and the stuff they push has got like 2 or 3 minerals in it. This has got, 90, the mighty 90 minerals and vitamins. It's just incredible. The entire Youngevity line. Folks can go to InfoWarsHealth.com to find out more, or they can also go Rebound for Energy to learn about that product specifically, and then go get discounts and free shipping if you sign up as a distributor, and get auto ship at InfoWarsHealth.com or InfoWarsTeam.com. Theo, this is such an amazing story because I only promote what I believe in. And I started, sure, about 2 years ago, everybody's telling me this is great. And I've never been a vitamin or mineral taker. I'd gotten like 70 pounds overweight. That's embarrassing to say. Talk radio, hadn't worked out in years. I've lost 40-something pounds. Aaron Dykes, and it's not even advertised as weight loss. It's just you're always hungry because there's no minerals or vitamins in it. As soon as Aaron got on this stuff, he lost 92 pounds. In fact, guys, you can go show that video on screen while folks are watching. Or go to InfoWarsHealth.com, folks. You can see the full Aaron video. But, I mean, it is miraculous how you're not as hungry anymore once you drink things like Beyond Tangy Tangerine or Rebound. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I say, all of them are great products, and I love to hear the stories. I love to hear people talk to me about them being on cancer and taking the chemo, and energy is just bad, and the only thing that can help them to be able to get up and move is drinking that Rebound. I mean, I love to hear stories like that.
Well, tell us. I mean, how many of the other NBA people have you turned on to this? I mean, are they getting similar results?
I've turned guys on. I've turned a lot of guys on to it. It's a matter of being a diligent student. I mean,
oh, yeah. I was selling it and didn't really get on it for about a year.
Right.
I mean, I believed in it and saw results. Okay, here's a great thing. But when I really started seeing, incredible results, it really is amazing.
Yeah, just say the ones that used it were very impressed on how much energy and how it helped them sustain that energy, and the product itself, just how healthy the product was as far as the amount of minerals and vitamins that it has within the product, and it was a natural product. They were very impressed with that. And also, the guys that used it also had pretty long careers where they were pretty much in bad shapes too, because most of the time people don't really turn to this until it's a do or die situation.
What about the nutritionist? I notice now, Theo, when I go to like Whole Foods or Central Market, the big nicer grocery stores, suddenly there's other products kind of touting the same thing, but I notice they don't have the Mighty 90 like Doc Wallach's products and Rebound and others have it. And the original now being copied, but still the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. What does your wife think of this? I mean, if it gave you 10 more years in the NBA, that's a lot of moolah.
Oh yeah, she loving it. She enjoying the benefits.
Wow, it's amazing. Well, I tell you, I take Rebound before I go into the gym, and my only issue is I'm already pretty wound up, and when you get all the things that are in this, it just absolutely turbocharges you. But I particularly like the liquid version. What's your favorite, the powder or the liquid?
Yeah, I like the powder. I like the citrus punch because, especially while I was playing, because I'm moving around, so I got used to doing the powder a lot easier, to carry and not have to worry about spilling.
Oh yeah, it's smaller. Yeah, that's a good point.
And they have the packs, the small individual packs.
Absolutely. Theo Ratliff is our guest. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about 1.5 years ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of Youngevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. Theo Ratliff, and I'm not even somebody that has time over the years to watch sports, but even I know who he is. One of the top blockers in NBA history, star at the Los Angeles Lakers. The list goes on and on. He also is the owner of the Rome Gladiators. and he also has a degree in communications from the University of Wyoming, and they developed the proprietary Rebound because he was such a fan of Youngevity and chalks up 10 more years in the league to it. Now, we have Dr. Wallach, and in between Theo getting all excited, me getting excited, the doc sitting over there. But, folks, you know, I only get excited about stuff I'm excited about. I sound like a carnival barker here. And that's not the best way to pitch something, but I am here promoting this because it really does work. I mean, people that have Alzheimer's, we've seen go on this and get their memory back, like Ted Anderson's dad, and then the doctor says, go off of it. You're not allowed to have vitamin K or leafy vegetables. And his dad has his skin just rotting off with scurvy, basically. And Ted wants the story told. The doctor told his wife, Ted's dad, you know, hey, don't let him have this. Don't let him have Beyond Tangy Tangerine stuff. So he didn't, and now he doesn't know who he is again. I mean, I hate to use that, but it's the truth. I mean, the medical, Dr. Wallach, how many of the medical doctors know this? And how many are just compartmentalized idiots? We know Big Pharma knows it.
Well, you're exactly right, Alex. The crime is that all the medical doctors know this, but they're profit-driven, and there's no law requiring a doctor to cure you, and there's a cure available. And so they choose to manage symptoms. For instance, when you have diabetes, if they were to make you an ex-diabetic to cure you, and they can do this, say in 4 weeks, you're able to wean off your medication, go back to normal life, be an ex-diabetic in 4 weeks, the doctor will make $300 in office calls. But if he manages your diabetes for 25 years, he'll make $750,000. So they always go for the management of the disease rather than just getting rid of it. There's no money in it for getting rid of it. And they're a protected monopoly. They have absolutely no competitors. The government protects them.
I want to talk about this more when we come back, but sure. This is a short segment, long segment coming up. I mean, you've known Theo a lot longer than I have. I've just seen him on TV, and I'm talking to him here for the first time. What should I be asking Theo right now? Or Theo, jump in here, because I'll run over you.
Well, basically, we need to be asking Theo the reason why these other athletes didn't pick up on it, because the average lifespan, when you take all professional athletes, is 62. Professional football players, the average lifespan is 51. It was just a recent study, 51. It's absolutely tragic because they're all dying early because they're sweating out their nutrients and not replacing them.
Yeah, Theo, I mean, people are really dumb when people even I know this works. And they're like, oh, I don't need vitamins and minerals.
Right. I mean, it's just a hard sell. It shouldn't be hard, but it's hard. I think a lot of it is due to a lot of the other products that don't do what it says it's supposed to do, and not. I mean, the products that are not the quality of a Youngevity. I think has a lot to do with it, and I think a lot of it just has to do with people. People are going to listen to whatever their doctors tell them to do.
No, that's it. The MDs are God.
Right.
I mean, Ted Anderson's told the story. His dad didn't know who he was. His dad in 6 months came back. Right. I mean, knew who he was. The wounds were healing. What are those wounds that the old people get? I mean, isn't that pretty much scurvy, Dr. Wallach?
It certainly could be scurvy. It could be circulation problems. It could be actually gluten intolerance, where they eat too much wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and their skin will actually dry up and get ulcerated, and they get eczema and dermatitis. And so there's multiple causes of that. But if you straighten up your diet, you take the 90 essential nutrients, that all goes away. All
right, well, stay there. We're going to come back, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Doc, because I know you've got the questions for Theo. You guys have known each other for 11 years. I want to talk about this when we come back. Amazing to have Theo Ratliff. Just retired, got an extra 10 years thanks to Youngevity. Amazing.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.
Well, he just retired. He got an extra 10 years thanks to finding the secret of full-spectrum vitamins and minerals and trace elements. Theo Ratliff, even a sports moron like me who doesn't even hardly follow it because I'm always focused on researching the New World Order, knows what Theo Ratliff is. He's an American former professional basketball player, just retired, who last played with the NBA's Los Angeles Lakers, and he's listed as one of the all-time greatest blockers, amongst other things. His amazing websites are futurephenom.com and reboundforenergy.com. We have those linked at InfoWarsHealth.com. And he joins us right now. He also owns the Rome Gladiators, and he's on with us with Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach, I want to ask you this question. Why is exercise without supplementation suicide, in your words? And then I want you, for the remaining 20 minutes we have left with Theo here, to take it away with, I want you to interview him, just because I know you guys have known each other for so long, and I know how much Theo, admires the work you've done. So do I. I want people to realize you're the guy that's beaten the Food and Drug Administration repeatedly in court, or we'd have Codex Alimentarius here banning us having access to vitamin and minerals. I mean, it just, I don't people realize who we're on the air with right now and just how much you've done for liberty, buddy, because I'm all about liberty, and this health issue is something we can take control of. The system wants us sick. That's what MD Rockefeller medicine is all about.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Alec. Really appreciate that. And you're certainly right. You're my hero, because you're on the people that need to be watched, and we appreciate that. Well, we did actually make a CD based on Theo's stories called Dead Athletes Don't Lie. And this goes on to the statement you mentioned, exercise without supplementation is suicide. And that's because you do sweat out nutrients in great amounts when you sweat. Whether you're exercising, you're a roofer, you're working in a steel factory, you're digging trenches, throwing bales of hay. If you're sweating out whatever nutrients you have floating around in your blood. If you have 90 essential nutrients, which most people don't unless they're supplementing with Youngevity products, you're sweating out 90 essential nutrients, not just water. If you are only consuming, say, 70 nutrients, you're sweating out all 70 nutrients. You're drinking water, your nutrient levels go down. If you're drinking Gatorade, you're 88 short. If you're drinking Rebound, you're getting all 100 nutrients in Rebound, including all the essential nutrients you need. And so it's imperative, if you're going to sweat, you have to supplement properly, and Rebound is part of the system to replace not only the fluid you're losing, but also the nutrients. We have Olympic athletes. Delisha Jones, who Theo knows very well, great lady, a basketball player. She has won 4 gold medals in Olympics. She's been with us for 12 years, even a year before we started with Theo. And she attributes her 4 gold medals to the Healthy Start packs, the extra glucogel to support and promote maintenance repair of her joints, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, cartilage, and also she loves the Rebound. And I think she kind of likes looking at Theo's picture, too. She's a great lady.
Well, listen to this. I want to break this down for Theo, because I got one question. I kind of interrupted him when he brought this up, and I want you to ask some quick questions and spend some time with Theo while we've got him here. Theo, you started getting into your grandmother, and, folks in the old days knew that you needed minerals. Veterinarians like Doc Wallach, I mean, I've worked for a large animal vet. It's all about minerals. That's what, mineral feeds, mineral blocks. But, I mean, what were you trying to say about your grandma, and that's why this stuff made sense to you?
Well, I mean, just from back in the day, Dr. Wallach always tell a great story about, how he got into the minerals on the farm with his father and being on the farm and raising the cattle and different things of that nature and using the minerals. And back in the day, my grandmother, when we got sick or certain things happened, olive oil was always our remedy, which is, vitamin E. So that was always a big thing. And then, I'm from a town called Demopolis, Alabama, so we had the clay. The clay was a big thing.
See, I didn't even know you were going to say that, but I said clay because folks in East Texas know eat the certain clay because it's got the minerals in it.
Right. And just different things that of that nature. And back then our ground was so rich in nutrients at the time, growing stuff in the garden and different things of that nature. So it made sense, when he started talking about the plant-derived minerals and the absorption in your body. It's a natural state. It's
funny that the old-timers knew all this, because when my dad was sick as a kid, his nanny would try to give him clay and he'd eat it. And at first my grandma was like, hey, that's not good, but he would actually get better when she gave him that and other things. And It turns out she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, it's funny how it works like that. They know what they're talking about.
Dr. Wallach, what's in the clay versus what's in, that's the plant-derived minerals, isn't it?
Well, the plant-derived minerals are actually a compost. It's actually plants. Clay or mineral silt from fine particles off of rocks. And you're both getting close to the story. And if I may, I'll ask both of you this question. What did your grandma and grandpa do with the wood ashes from their wood stove every morning? Where did they go?
It went in the garden.
Throw them out in the garden.
In the garden, exactly. Well, wood ashes are not really ashes. Wood ashes are the minerals that are left when you burn wood for fuel. And you put these wood ashes, a.k.a. plant minerals, into the garden. The squash and the sweet potatoes and the onions and the pumpkins and the corn and tomatoes and beans and peas would suck up those minerals. You ate those vegetables and grains, and you got your minerals in that fashion. Well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, Thomas Edison pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant on Pearl Street in New York City. And 5 years later, just about everybody had an electric stove or propane stove or a natural gas stove. And where did you get your minerals? Well, nobody was putting wood ashes into the garden anymore. We began to break down, and that's where the problem came. And of course, when Theo moved away from the farm, living with grandma and great-grandma and his mom, he didn't have access to foods grown and all those minerals from the wood ashes going into the garden every day. He came to the cities where the universities were, and they got food grown from the big farms where they had chemical fertilizer rather than wood ashes.
With two minerals in it.
That exact 2 or 3. Plants only need 3. Human beings need 60. So if you're eating a pretty good slice of organically grown multigrain bread baked with love by the pastor's wife in church on Sunday, you're 57 short.
And then you've got the trace elements. How important are, well, you asked the questions. Theo's sitting here, and we're ranting and raving, Doc. We can do that any day. Theo, are there points you want to make?
Well, the trace elements, Theo's very familiar with them. These sudden deaths that occur in famous athletes, like Reggie Lewis died of a cardiomyopathy, heart attack. And of course, these kids, there's somewhere around 75,000 to 100,000 young Americans under the age of 30 drop dead suddenly each year while they're exercising because they sweat out a particular trace element called selenium. Selenium deficiency alone causes hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, which is the most common cause of sudden death.
That happened when I was 8 years old playing football. The star running back just fell over dead of a heart attack, and they did the autopsy. He didn't have any heart defects, and they said, we don't know why he died.
Well, he died of a selenium deficiency, and the reason why they say they don't know, every medical examiner should take a course in chemical nutritional deficiencies that cause sudden death. They don't know anything about that, and as a result, this problem is perpetuated. Now, I actually went to China and did 1,200 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 in Qishan province in China that died of this cardiomyopathy heart disease. It's published in an international journal.
It's amazing. Theo, give us your take on the trace minerals.
Not to cut you off, Doc. Yeah, a lot of the guys in the league tend to have heart issues after they're done. And, you know, from being a part of Youngevity and speaking with Dr. Wallach and speaking to some of the professionals on the selenium, you know, if you're taking the selenium, then those things go away. And like I said, when you're playing, you're sweating out your nutrients, you're sweating out your minerals, you're breaking down your calcium in your body. So you have so many different diseases and so many different things that mineral deficiencies create diseases from, that if you don't put it in, then everything starts to break down.
But if the doctors tell you, they won't get to chop you up and make money.
Right. It pains me to see some of these retired guys that I see now, you know, being retired. I see a lot more of the guys, and their bodies are broken down and need replacements, hip replacements, shoulder. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And as they continue to put those chemicals in their body, they steady breaking down their insides and everything else through all the drugs and different stuff that they have to take. And I try to explain to a lot of the guys that you got to get your body, get it back healthy with putting the proper minerals the plant-derived minerals from the Youngevity to be able to build your body back. And it can happen even no matter what age you are. It can still happen for you.
It's been miraculous. My mother's run triathlons for a long time, and she just hit a wall, and now she says it's like 15 years ago. She lost weight. Her muscles got soft again. I mean, my mother is not a media person, and she's ready to go on air and talk about what Youngevity's done for her. It's that powerful.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, man.
But like you said, Theo, it's frustrating when people've heard all these other fake claims, then they think everything's bull, I guess.
Right, right. And I think that's what you're fighting. Besides just the doctors and the medicine, you know, them masking pain, you know, giving it the steroids and different things, shooting people up all the time, letting it go away for a couple of weeks, and then it comes back on them, and then they got to do it again. I mean, that's a big issue.
It is. So they, again, folks, notice they never want to find why we're all getting autism or neurological disorders or cancer exploding or diabetes. It's always, let's find a cure. Let's find a cure. It's like not asking why people are getting shot in the head. Let's find a cure to being shot in the head. No, let's find out why so many people are getting shot in the head. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? I could go all day with Theo Ratliff and, of course, Dr. Joel Wallach. We've only got like 6 minutes left in this short segment. I should also add, if you want to get Rebound, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, but when it comes to sports drinks, you can't beat it with the Rebound FX. I like the berry liquid. He likes the citrus punch. The point is it's awesome. It's all available at InfoWarsHealth.com, or you can give members of the InfoWars team a call, and they can sign you up as a distributor to get discounts, also for auto ship to get free shipping at InfoWarsHealth.com or InfoWarsTeam.com, 877-551-1301. That's 877-551-1301 if you've got any questions or need help getting signed up for auto ship or to be a distributor or preferred customer. There's a lot of benefits there. You can find it at InfoWarsTeam.com. Theo, we're going to let you go here at the break. I'm going to come back with a few minutes just with Wallach because I know he's chomping at the bit to talk about things, but I've been asking a lot of questions. What else would you like to tell people about Youngevity, about Rebound, about how big a deal it is? Because I mean, people know me. I don't just sit here and harp and harp and harp on things that I'm pitching. Sure, we make money out of this, but I make money out of things I believe in that fight the tyranny, fight the corrupt medical system. I sleep really good at night promoting this, and that's why it's getting so big. I mean, Youngevity overall's up 30% just from me promoting it in the last year because people are really having the effect. It's not just hype. No, it's real.
Well, I just want to say that we appreciate you. We appreciate what you do and what you've done, you know, for Youngevity and for the Rebound product. Has been great getting the word out to people about this great product. And, you know, we just want you to keep on doing your thing and keep letting people know, opening people's eyes up to what's really going on as far as out there with their health. And I also wanted to say that the kids, I mean, I do a lot of things with kids. I have an activity center back home, Theo Ratliff Foundation back home. I have an activity center, work with a lot of kids, and I always do a camp of like 300 or so kids each year for free for the kids, and I bring this product, and the kids love it, you know, and it's in my activity center. They love it. My kids love it. I don't let them do sports or play anything or do anything without taking minerals, you know, and that's the key. If you get them early, my 5-year-olds, they love it. When they see me drink, hey, Daddy, I need some of that Rebound. Give me some of that Rebound. You know, and they already think they are LeBron James and D Wade, so they're taking it. They take the kids toddy, and take those products that are made for kids also. So it's something that once you start them early and it becomes their routine and they know about health and they know why they're taking it, it just becomes like clockwork. You know, it becomes easy as just picking up a pencil and writing every day. So I always want to let that out there, is that, you know, it's definitely a big thing that starts with the kids, and we always want to bring the kids into something that's going to make them great, not just physically, but also mentally at the same time.
Well, I was about to say, I felt major mental changes once I got on this. More energy, better thought processes, yes. More aggressive, because I've always been an aggressive person. I mean, did you see any mental changes once you got on Youngevity?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, you know, like with us, you know, one of the things that a major thing with mineral deficiency is with the athlete is sleeping. You know, if I sit and I try to read a book or try to read my emails or something, I end up falling asleep. You know, back when before I got on the product. But now that I've been on the product, I can sit and I can concentrate. I sit down and read a book.
I was about to say that's a side effect, even though a good one. Even though Beyond Tangy Tangerine has no green tea extract, no stimulant, my mother and I, we've all noticed, if you take it at night, you're hungry at 10, you drink it, you're not hungry anymore. Problem is, you're not going to sleep.
Right. You're going to be very active.
Yeah, because drugs wish that they were food. They wish they were minerals and vitamins. Drugs try to... it's just amazing. It's amazing that the system knows this. Big Pharma's out of business if this word gets out, Theo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I say, it's a great thing, but it'll be a lot more healthier people. That's the whole goal.
Well, we're getting the word out to a lot of professional athletes right now. They need to all try Rebound. And you know what, athletes, if you try and it doesn't have an effect, you can call in. We don't screen the calls and tell me I'm a liar. But I know that's not going to happen because Youngevity has developed the formula. They are the trailblazers, InfoWarsHealth.com. And you can also visit Theo's excellent websites, ReboundForEnergy.com, FuturePhenom.com. And he also has some other sites you can find there on that site as well. But go to InfoWarsHealth.com and see the Aaron Dykes testimonial and before and afters. You can see my before and afters. I've still got some weight to lose, but I've lost over 40 pounds, and it's not even advertised as weight loss. Wow, well, one of the top people in the NBA. Theo, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
I said keep on losing that weight.
All right, God bless you. Theo, thank you so much. For more than 6 years, I've talked on the air about creating a social network. PlanetInfoWars.com is in its beta phase. We're just launching it. And I want to invite all of you out there to be in on the ground level. Planet InfoWars is about people coming together, forming activist organizations, getting involved politically, hunting and fishing, gardening, dating. This is a place for people who love freedom to meet and to talk and to write and to post information. And I give you this pledge. We are not going to spy on you and sell your data to the New World Order. PlanetInfoWars.com is free, so people who love freedom can get together, connect with people who are awake and know what we're facing. Be active, organize, take action, go viral, create, contribute, resist, because resistance is victory. You are victory. It's waiting for you to breathe power into it. PlanetInfoWars.com. We just spent an hour on this because, yeah, Youngevity, InfoWarsHealth.com, the discounts there, it helps fund our news organization. We're not like George Soros that gets banker bailout money and then, uses it to fund anti-America groups and anti-liberty groups. Or MSNBC, they got, what was it, $500 million of stimulus money to give $1 million raises to Rachel Maddow. We're here promoting and selling things that we believe in, that we use, whether it's ProPure discounted at InfoWars.com or whether it's the Youngevity products discounted there at InfoWarsHealth.com. But the revolution of minerals itself, I wanted to spring this on Dr. Wallach. My dad, who I think I am going to get in studio about a bunch of issues, he's a dentist, oral surgeon. He goes down, he volunteers for a big charity. And once a year, he goes to Belize, or he goes to Mexico, or he goes to Central America. For the first time, he went to Paraguay earlier this year for a couple weeks. A piece of dynamite, the news said a hand grenade. It was a piece of dynamite, got thrown at a soccer game the one day they had off, like one of the last days. And they go, my dad saw the guy throw the dynamite. He grew up on a farm. He knew dynamite. He used to blow stumps up, and it blew up some of the umpires and people. My dad saw that. He's like, he got back and said, yeah, I saw this. And I went and looked it up, and there it was. But the point is, he was down in Paraguay, and the Amish are the only people holding the country up. They went into the rocky desert north. Most of it's jungle, but in the north, a couple hundred years ago when they got driven out of Russia and other areas. And so they went there, and they developed it, and now they produce more than half the food in the country. And my dad has all the names, but there's this one head Amish guy who's basically industrializing the whole country for people now. You think of them as not being industrial, but, just basic food, water, aquifers, all this stuff that the Amish know. And it's one of the biggest Amish colonies down there. And my dad had all the literature and stuff. It was in Spanish. He can read Spanish. I can't. But he was explaining that they used to have all these street kids there, and they have them all over Latin America, who are basically have different disorders, mentally retarded, but not genetically. They don't have extra chromosomes or chromosomal problems. They just have all sorts of mental problems. They're stunted. And it was very simple. There's no nutrition. The few orphanages that give them, beans and rice, they're not getting what they need. The Amish have started giving in little candies minerals. And basically, I was looking at it, it's close to Youngevity. What they've come up with down there, they just give the little kids, the Mennonites do, and the Amish, and the UN's trying to shut them down and hates them because they want to deindustrialize it. But the point is, that's exactly what's going on. And so now the Amish are helping people with incredible results because the kids will eat the candies, and now it's eradicating all these different disorders. Just amazing that this knowledge is starting to be discovered by others, Dr. Wallach.
Well, it's a good thing, Alex. Certainly is the basic need of all vertebrates, whether you're a turtle or an elephant or a human being. We all need the 90 essential nutrients, and this is a worldwide thing. The top 20 longevity cultures around the world are found all over the place, including Central America and South America. And it's by dumb luck, they live in a place that has lots of minerals in the soil, and the wood they burn, the trees suck up the minerals, and they put the wood ashes in the gardens. Well, these are relatively small areas. We can't get 7 billion people from the entire world populations to move into those places. So we have to create the same environment wherever we are, and we can do this by supplementation. We can add 25 to 50 healthful years to our life. We can take a broken down professional athlete like Theo, who's become just an icon in professional athletics, to add 10 years to his professional playing life just by taking a supplement. I mean, you think about that. What if you can add 10 years to everybody's life in America in a healthful way? I believe we can do that. And this is a worldwide problem. And it's something that through your help, and you're one of our heroes, certainly, getting this message out, because we can save America through your help financially and certainly health-wise. And I don't mind if the doctors go out of business. So we really don't need them. They have legislated themselves into a certain position where they have a...
Well, look at what police states they are. I mean, marijuana has shown it has no bad effects on fetuses, but they'll tell women, take Prozac, take all these drugs that we know attack them, take vaccines. Until 4 years ago, all medical doctors, all inserts said, don't give pregnant women vaccines. It causes autoimmune problems. It causes miscarriages. Now they're pushing it, and I see the stories rolling in of professional women who aren't even pot smokers going in. They don't tell you they're blood testing you for drugs. Boom, THC, they come take your baby. They don't tell you these hospitals are prisons now. They're now making the healthcare providers take vaccines. It happened in Russia. It happened in Nazi Germany. It happened in Soviet China. Or communist China, that the medical system is a tyranny. It's great if your leg's broken. It does some good. But that's kind of like the mafia does some good. Yeah, but they also do a lot more bad. Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, there was a recent one. Of course, Neil Armstrong died. He was actually killed by a doctor. He didn't die of a heart attack. He had his physical, and he was 82 years old, and they said, you're pretty strong, Neil, for 82 years old, but you got this little blockage in your artery. Why don't you let us do a bypass before you have a heart attack? If you have a heart attack, you're in a crisis, you might die. But now you're healthy. Now's the time to let us do a bypass. And they did a bypass on him, and he died of a blood clot as a result of that surgery. These doctors killed Neil Armstrong. They don't get an investigation. They don't get a urine test to see if they were drunk. They don't get a urine test to see if they're on drugs. You don't even know what the doctor's name that killed Neil Armstrong. Well, I know this. One of my dad's really good friends is a former Olympic swimmer and a very successful businessman. I'm not going to get into the whole story, even though I'm not saying the guy's name. I probably shouldn't tell the story. But he sued and successfully won the medical doctor. They talked him into getting 2 stents. And they put in like 12 or something just because the doctor made more money. And it turned out this so-called, well-to-do doctor was doing this to a bunch of people. And it's now been run out of business here in Austin. But the point is, that's incredible that he didn't need probably even the 2 stents, but he went in and did it. And then and the guy to make more money just put a whole bunch in there and basically has really hurt this guy's lifespan.
Exactly. And of course, that's why the Medicare cost in hospices has gone up 70% in 1 year, because when grandma is in hospice, unconscious, in a coma, they'll do a hysterectomy on her, a double mastectomy, double hip replacement, double knee replacement, and make $200,000 on her, getting all the money out of her Medicare fund before she dies, because they have the right to do that.
Some well-known Austinites that are good friends of mine, if I said their name, everybody in Austin knows who I'm talking about. They live out on Lake Austin, and a rattlesnake, she went out to take the trash out, and a little baby rattlesnake, which is the worst because they pump all their venom, bit her. And she felt fine, but they said, well, let's go to the hospital. Now, they sell snake venom in Arizona in the stores for $20. Because they had top-flight insurance, their bill was $300,000+ for 2 days in the hospital. Just pure robbery. And the insurance company challenged it and got it down to $100,000. I mean, all they did was put an IV in her with anti-venom, $100,000. I mean, how do they get away with this?
Because of insurance. If there was no insurance, Alex, nobody would tolerate that kind of stuff. Because there's insurance, they have no competition, so there's no other options, people feel. The cost of health care has just been driven up terribly, and doctors can kill with impunity. 15 million people in America are killed, injured, infected in the doctor's workplace every year. They do not even get an OSHA ticket. Nobody would fly commercial airlines if they knew that commercial airlines killed, injured, infected 15 million of their passengers every year. But because of insurance, people will say, well, insurance pays for it. Let's just go to the doctor. And, of course, if they do what you and I suggest to them, we'll add 25 to 50 healthy years of their life, and they'll be protected from, what should I say, an unnecessary death like Neil Armstrong. Like
how much more money did Theo Ratliff in the NBA make in the 10 years that he was able to continue because of just getting basic minerals?
It was over $40 million. Probably cost him $300 a month, and he made over $40 million as a result of his extra 10 years.
Well, that's my only problem is Theo was talking about getting the kids to do it when they're young. I've got my kids asking for the essential fatty acids, that your proprietary blend, asking for the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, asking for these things because they've gotten on it. And my wife's always been putting them on vitamins and minerals, but now we've shifted over to yours because it is the best blends. But I have never done it in my life, so I'll make myself for a few days do it and then quit and then remember to do it. Aaron religiously committed and looks like Superman back there. So, I mean, I've had incredible effects, but I just need to somehow get myself in the regimen because when I do it, then I'm not hungry and I feel even better, and then I can go forward. But I just am in such a habit of not pill popping.
Okay, well, here's what I do. Because I'm on the road all the time, you can see where I could say, well, I'm busy, I didn't bring enough with me. I actually bring a 3-month supply with me, even though I'm going to be on the road only for 4 weeks. I also build 2 bottles a day with all my supplements in each bottle. I kind of pre-fill them while I'm watching TV at night, looking at the news. I'll fill all my bottles with all the various supplements, the selenium, the Ocean's Gold.
That's the issue, is there's all these bottles, and I'm not hauling them around. That's what it is.
And so what I do is instead of taking 20 bottles, I'll just take 1 bottle with me that I've already pre-filled with all the stuff, and I do that 2 bottles a day for about 2 weeks. I pre-make them, and when I get down to the last couple bottles, I'll pre-make my 2 weeks again. And so I just grab the bottles, I bring my liquids with me, and I do that twice a day. I've been doing it religiously for 64 years.
And by the way, tell folks how old you are.
73, and I haven't been to a medical doctor with me being the patient for 64 years.
Yeah, by the way, the Skype is not the best representation of you. You look like you're about, I don't know, 60, 62, 65 in the Skype. In person on stage, you look like you could be 60 years old, 59 years old. And I mean, physically, you're in such good shape is the amazing thing.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, nobody's going to steal an airplane with you or I on it, Alex, I'll tell you. And this is actually a testament to these nutrients. The human body does not age based on chronological time. The human body ages based on the presence of or lack of nutrients. And if you take your nutrients, you can be chronologically 100 and biologically 30.
Well, that's what Ray Kurzweil, the top globalist, says. Have you noticed Ray Kurzweil is saying what you're saying and basically takes a regimen that looks like you developed it?
Yes, exactly. These people are on top of it because they're worldly. They've been around. They see who is successful in health and who isn't. And the people who are successful in health and longevity, just like these long-lived cultures. They have 100.
Well, Kurzweil says he cured himself of diabetes with a nutrient-dense, thing similar to Youngevity.
Oh, absolutely. I can't use the cure word technically, but I can make you an ex-diabetic in 2 to 14 days. I did this with a top medical laboratory owner, a guy by the name of Murphy. This guy here, Jerry Murphy, had terrible advanced diabetes. He services 7,000 hospitals a day, has access to the best endocrinologist, the best cutting-edge information on diabetes. He was failing. Everything was going downhill. And just a couple of months, I was able to get him off his medication. His A1C hemoglobin went from about 8 down to 4.3. His blood sugar went from 171 with medication down to 71 without medication.
I mean, look how it's exploded. What do people get at InfoWarsHealth.com that from your research has had incredible effects on type 2 diabetes?
Oh, well, type 2 diabetes, I mean, we actually, I would say, because of our world connections now, 1,000 people a day are being weaned off of their medication and are ex-diabetics.
Amazing. And what do they want to get at InfoWarsHealth.com? What's the cocktail?
Well, the cocktail is the Healthy Start Pack and the Sweet Ease. We also call it the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. It could be the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack or the Healthy Start Pack and the Sweet Ease.
And we call the starter pack Alex Pack, discounted at InfoWarsHealth.com. Well, listen, I'm going to hit some final news. Doc, I tell you, this is revolutionary what you're doing. And if people just take the challenge and try it for themselves, they're going to, with something just like a Rebound or Beyond Tangy Tangerine or the Pollen Plus, if they just try it, I think they're really going to be amazed and understand why I'm hyping this up so much. Because, again, folks, cancer, diabetes, neurological disorders, it's all exploding because of the GMOs, the bisphenol A, all this stuff that they're putting into us. But when you get real rare earth minerals that have the full spectrum and are really what was originally, in the dirt, because we have these debilitated soils. When you get it from the soils that still have it, it is amazing. Go watch the video with Aaron Dykes to see what we're talking about at InfoWarsHealth.com or call 877-551-1301. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for breaking all this down for us today.
Well, thank you, Alex. You're a great host. You're a great hero of America. And together, I think you and I can save America. God bless you.
Well, God bless you. There goes Dr. Wallach. And I was just going to spend 30 minutes with those guys. I spent like an hour and 20 minutes with them because I get really excited. There's all this stuff going on in the world, all this craziness. But if we can expose why we're getting so sick, how it's engineered, it just mitigates so much of it. I mean, the effects are just absolutely nothing less than miraculous is the only word to describe it. And when you purchase the products, it funds the operation, the reporters, everything we do. Again, we're listener-supported, InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com or 877-551-1301. They're not operators standing by. They're distributors for InfoWars. They're part of our team. When you call that number, they can answer all of your questions. Visit InfoWars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.